A viral video that like...
Oh, the hair blowing.
Yes.
Yeah. I saw it. I was going to ask you about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's talk about this video, this viral video that you had that I guess was initially posted on a Sill's site.
Yes, it was.
And this is the Chinese youth learning how to hack hair techniques.
Yes. It's been a crazy 40 hours, I have to say. I originally saw this on a Sill's page, and just from me initially clicking on it to actually going to his page, he already grew like 20,000 views in a matter of like moments. And I'm looking at this video, I'm like, there's no way a water bottle on a blow dry is gonna work.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna try it.
Right.
So I recorded it. I got my full reaction
Hold on
camera.
Were you in your hotel room or were you back in, where are you from, Florida?
So, yep,
Okay.
I'm in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So I was actually in Vegas.
Okay.
My husband had a convention out there, and I was just kind of in the process of just working on the summit, of course. And I'm like, I'm gonna record this. I just inserted it in my hair, and I just started seeing it spin and spin and spin, and I'm like, and I pulled it out, and just my face.
I saw
You
it.
could just read it on my face.
You could.
That it was just such a drop the mic moment. And I'm thinking in my head, because, you know, I teach social media, right? And I'm like, this is gonna go viral. Like, I already knew.
Yeah.
So, next step, I was downstairs at the Mandalay Bay in Vegas, sitting at the bar, editing my video. I posted it within a matter of 5 minutes. It already had 30,000 views. 5 minutes, okay? I was at 137 on Thursday. I'm at 148 today, and that was only 3 days ago.
That's awesome.
This is the thing. I didn't make that content. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't make the original content.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have to be first, you just have to be the fastest, right? So originally, there was no original content for that video because they couldn't track back to where it was. When I saw it, Allure actually reached out to me, and they said, we can't find the original owner of this video, can we use your video? On top of that, I gave it a name, which is Blow the Bottle Challenge.
Okay.
People started to recreate the video as well, based off of that hashtag that I created, okay? The first 2 to 3 people that started doing the challenge after me, we all got featured on Allure. So there was 4 of us that got featured. So just from creating something and making it your own with like reaction videos, it's amazing like how crazy video can go with just a matter of moments.
Viral video 101 right there. That's so exciting.
Yes, just being innovative,
Right.
Or being the fastest,
Right.
So if you guys
And
see
taking
a
a
trend,
chance.
and
Because a lot of people
chance.
are going to see that, and they're not going to think to themselves, how can I use this for my audience? They're just going to be fascinated by it and then keep swiping or whatever.
Absolutely.
Right? But if you go at it from a thoughtful perspective and you think, wow, maybe I could do this, and all my clients who follow me will really find this interesting, I should try it.
Absolutely. And you know what's cool? It hits consumer, it hits hairstylists, it hits media, right? It hits everybody. It's relatable information. Can we talk about video for a second?
Oh, yeah.
In that matter of
Sure.
fact? So everyone's dealing with the algorithms nowadays, right? Well, there's a few things that the algorithm states. You know, it states like what time you post, your engagement, your previous engagement, but also time. So we have to consider what time is. What happens initially when you scroll and you look at somebody's picture, right? That's maybe like 1, 2 seconds, maybe 5 seconds. Well, what happens when you post a video? It automatically plays, okay? So right then and there, you have 5 seconds at least of somebody's attention.
Right.
So what the algorithm states is, the longer you actually spend on an individual's post is how you will rank in the feed.
Right.
85% of my content now is video.
Yeah. Because
of that.
Right.
And then you write a beautiful, captivating message. You know, maybe you share your story, your formula, ask questions for engagement. So now you just went from maybe like a 1 to 2 second initial just picture post to a video that could possibly create more interaction to get them to keep coming back to your page.
Right. So now let's talk about, because you're going deep and this is really great stuff, and my questions that I wrote out were already, in the middle of it, which is great. Not everyone is as comfortable speaking on a podcast like this as you are, and it makes it so easy for me. So when we talk about the algorithm, and the rank and all that, let's define what that is. That is when Jane Doe opens her Instagram account, she goes to her feed, what does she see, right? That's what it is.
Yes.
So what she's going to see is the algorithm's result of everything that you're talking about.
100%. So let's say, for instance, Jane Doe constantly always interacts with my page. Let's just say Instagram says, hey, I'm going to make sure that every single time Olivia posts, that it's going to show up in the feed.
Right.
So that's another reason why it's so important to ask engaging questions to get people to comment. Because if you comment, that's an interaction, that's an engagement, but then you comment back. Okay, so you're creating your own engagement for your post. So if you consistently comment back, you're going from 5 comments to 10 comments, essentially 20. So keep that in mind as well. But
wait, what 20?
So if you comment to mine
Yeah.
and I comment back to you, that's 2 comments.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden you have initially 10 comments from somebody else. Well, if you comment back, now you have
It's
20.
Oh yes, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what the algorithm also states is previous interaction. So let's say I comment back to you, okay? Now you just went back to my page to see the comment. So now you just went to my page twice. And Instagram will continuously see that you're creating some sort of rapport with me.
Yeah. People want to see it.
People want to see
And
it.
this is the foundation of the algorithm that everybody likes to hate so much. I think the reality and the basis of this algorithm is Instagram asking themselves, what do we want to do with this algorithm? And they say, the audience, the person looking at the feed, we want to make sure that they're seeing what we want to make sure that we're putting up there what we believe they want to see.
Exactly.
Correct?
110%.
Right.
And verbiage.
Yeah.
When I comment back to people, I talk to them like they're my friend. That's just me as a whole anyways. I'm very interactive. I say, thank you, my love, or I really appreciate it. Thank you for sharing with your friends. When you talk to people like your friends, Instagram also sees that. If you start to notice on Instagram, your friends will always show up first. They are so smart now. They are seeing the way you're actually speaking to people, or the engagement or the interaction of the actual words in itself.
Right.
So if you go to Instagram, you'll start to see a few of your friends at the top, like Facebook. Same thing. So Instagram is basically saying, I know now what this person is interested by based upon previous interactions, based upon engagement, based upon time that they spent on their initial page.
Right.
You want me to go into stories?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about stories. We don't talk about stories that much.
I love stories.
Stories are the best.
Stories, okay. With Instagram now, there's almost 4 social medias within Instagram, okay? We have the stories, we have live, we have the feed, and then we have IGTV. All within one app.
And DMs. And that's a little bit different.
No, it is, because DMs count as engagement.
They do?
So that's why you always have to write back to your DMs, especially if they're coming from stories. Because Instagram wants you to utilize the polls,
Right.
the questions, the DMs. They want to keep you on the initial page.
Right.
So with stories, let's say for instance, you're constantly posting on your stories, always, right? So how you're posting on your stories and you're getting people to engage and interact when you are utilizing the platforms such as polls, questions, using the music, whatever that may look like, if people are constantly clicking on your stories, you're going to constantly show up on the top, okay? You're going to constantly
on the
show
top
up
of their
first.
screen.
On the top of the screen.
Yep.
You're going to show up first, okay? So for everybody listening on the podcast right now, if you want to stop seeing somebody, stop clicking on them.
Yeah.
Because Instagram knows. So
Maybe some of those guilty clicks.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
no longer want that temptation, stop clicking.
Exactly. But what happens when you go live? You show up at the top. And then all of a sudden when you log into somebody's live, you spend 2 minutes. You spend 5 minutes on their live. You spend 10 minutes on their live. Well, as per what the algorithm says, the longer you spend on somebody's individual post, whether that's Instagram, feed, stories, IGTV, they're going to keep showing up first. So to be live, to go on stories, to actually even get on IGTV, which we could also talk about.
Yeah. Reluctantly.
I know.
I'm just annoyed that it's even there. But okay, keep talking.
I would like to talk about that
Okay.
too, eventually.
Yeah.
But going live is so important.
This is going to be a 2-hour podcast, everybody.
Sorry. I love talking about
No,
this.
it's great.
Because it's kind of like when you figure something out, you want to tell everybody.
Yeah.
You know, and I have no secrets. So anyone who's listening right now, please always send me direct messages. Always ask questions. I love coaching and I love helping as much as humanly possible. But even with IGTV, So what I
Hold
do
on,
now
are
is-
we done with stories?
We're done with stories.
Okay.
We're done with stories.
So are we on live? Because we touched on live a little bit, and you brought up the fact that that helps all of your engagement. It helps your posts and everything else with the algorithm if you're going on live.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what if the most people out there who have a normal following, right, their clients or whatever, they're afraid to go on live because they're going to be sitting there in an empty room and nobody's going to join them.
And you know, I hear that so often. People are like, I feel like I'm talking to myself. I feel like they're not engaging. Well, we have to keep in mind, if they're not initially there live, they can still watch it for 24 hours.
True.
Okay? Then, after your live is over, make sure you save it. Okay? Then a day later, you post it to IGTV.
Ooh, you hear this, guys?
You post it to IGTV because if you're going to go live anyways, you might as well repurpose that content for another part of the platform.
Totally.
Okay? And I think at first I was a little like, well, IGTV, like whatever, which we were all like that with Instagram, which we're all like that on Facebook, like whatever that may look like.
Something else to deal with.
Something else to deal with. Popular feeds right now and scroll, and it's going to say recommended IGTVs. If people are not utilizing that platform as much, guess what's going to happen? You're going to show up in the recommended IGTV. So that's why you can take your lives, repurpose it, write a little description, something very captivating, put a good cover photo on it, and then people can also rewatch those lives again.
Okay, so I feel like we're kind of swimming against the current in trying to encourage Jane Doe, who's trying to just get better posts, for God's sakes. Like, she's posting once every 10 days, and they're not getting a whole lot of interaction. Like, all of a sudden we expect her to go live. What would you say to her?
You know, I think it's whatever fits your fancy. You know what I mean? Like, there's some people that are more comfortable on stories than they are on live. Let's say that. Maybe people can just start to practice. Like, actors don't just act. Like, they practice acting, right? Like, we have to practice being ourselves on camera. When I was in high school, I was actually TV and television production was my first love. And I went in front of the camera, and they said to me, they go, I couldn't even say welcome to Cooper City High School. And you know what they told me? They go, we'll never put you on camera for the rest of your life, okay? We're gonna sentence you to go edit, which helped me at the time. But I wasn't gonna let that defeat me. And I learned how to talk. And I think that we
Just
have
by
to
yourself, or did you go to do class?
I actually just started speaking to a camera. I started
Practice.
speaking to a camera over and over and over, started doing tutorials, trying to get script down, just trying to find my voice. And showing us, 50% of the reason why people come to us is because of us. People want to see us. I bet you people listening right now, and they will even say yes, like we get more likes on our selfies than we do on our actual content.
We talked about that on the personal branding panel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nowadays, especially with the amount of hair pictures.
Yes, absolutely. And I think sometimes, when it comes to content, context, our captions, people want to hear from us. They want it to be our voice. And, no one knows our brand or like our voice like we do. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's really hard to just pass it off as beautiful balayage, hashtag, hair painting. In a world full of ring lights and white walls, how are you going to stand out? And that's through your context. That's through showing who you are as a person. That you're not just some sort of robot on the internet trying to create something. And when it comes to your brand and when it comes to your niche, we didn't all start at the top. We all started from somewhere. But this is the thing, you have to try. Everybody listening right now, like, don't feel like you have to do it all at once. Just post once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week. Let it fit into your lifestyle. Because if you try to do everything all at once, it's going to be like, paralysis by analysis, and you're not going to do anything.
Right.
So my best advice is to be consistent and consistently engage. And if you wake up in the morning and you say, you know what, I don't feel like posting today. There are plenty of mornings that I'm like, I'm not posting today. But you know what I do? I'll edit a photo. I'll edit a video. I'll set myself, I'll engage, I'll follow some people. If I'm just contributing to my digital footprint every single day, I know that it's going to help my brand. Whether that looks like 5 minutes, that looks like 30 minutes. This is my lens. but I'm here to help you guys like with your life. And if that just takes doing little baby steps initially to kind of just start to figure it out,
Right.
but just, you're gonna mess up.
Right.
And then you're gonna get better. And then you're gonna mess up again. And you're gonna get better.
Right.
And you'll be able to see it on people's feet. You know, it's the journey.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
Sorry, I get really into this.
No, it's right on. Do we want to check the audio to see if that noise in the background is screwing us up?
I know, because I can hear them slamming the damn forks on there right now.
IGTV. What else do you have to say about IGTV? Do you think it's catching on with people? Not necessarily with the content creators, but with the content absorbers. Do you think people are going there and spending time?
I think Instagram is doing a great job of pushing that because it's showing up on the popular feeds now.
Yep.
So I think that Instagram wants to see IGTV succeed. So maybe currently, right at this moment, it's the popular feed. But what's to say it's not going to show up on our stories to be able to watch? I mean, I'm not throwing any predictions out there, but what is to say that there's not going to be a more accessible way for them to find it? But if you're already on the platform, you'll be the first. You know, all the people that were on Instagram 5 years ago, they were the first and they were the best. So, and moving from IGTV, let's talk about YouTube. Okay. A lot of people ask me, side note, a lot of people ask me, is it better to go live on Instagram or go live on Facebook?
Yep.
Okay? If you can, go live on both. The reason why I say that is because Facebook is horizontal and Instagram is vertical. Repurpose the Instagram for vertical, put it on IGTV, Facebook, save it, and then post it on YouTube. Okay?
And you can't do that simultaneously. You need two devices.
Yes, so I use the laptop and I use the cell phone. Okay, if you're gonna go, like, you know what I'm saying? If you're in that moment, if you have something to say, if you're showcasing a client or whatever that may look like, to repurpose it. So I took a poll, and this entire year I traveled.
Stories poll?
I did
Or
in my
real
actual
poll?
classes,
Okay.
yes. So I traveled all over the United States this year, and my one question was, who in this classroom is on YouTube? Out of all the hairstyles, okay? And I think there was about 12 people out of like a couple thousand people that I've talked in front of.
Wow.
And you know what I always said? I go, this is why you need to be on YouTube. Because nobody's there.
Because there's some white space.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And maybe we can mark my words, you know, in 2 years from now, that is where we're going. Dare I say it, what happens if Instagram goes away, right? Like, we have to find an area in order to translate to another platform. But even more so, like, I think you'd even agree, like, YouTube is TV. There's an audience there. And if we're gonna keep reinventing ourselves, you know, like Madonna, like, we have to be hitting those younger generations of people that we see.
Yep.
So I think that just taking, you know, these people that are on Facebook are not the same people on Instagram, that are not the same people on Snapchat, that are not the same people on YouTube. So cross-promoting our following, even more so, you know, even talking about emails. Like I know you guys were talking about on the panel earlier, the way that I look at emails is if the algorithm is going to dictate whether I have an opening at the salon that day, or whether I'm hosting a class, or maybe we're having our wedding anniversary, I'm gonna allow Instagram to only show 10% of my following what that is. But with emails, there's an opportunity that every single person can see that.
Right.
So email, the old school way of thinking has become the new school way of thinking because there are implements in place for the algorithm. It all comes full circle with everything. But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's big time stuff.
Dropping some bombs.
Yeah, you are. All right. So with the email, because that's super interesting, and it is a great way to communicate with the people, especially the people who know you, like clients.
Yes.
Right. You want to tell your clients about something, they're only 10% are going to see it if you put it on Instagram. It's not like, don't feel like everybody out there listening, don't feel like you post something and then everybody should know about it. That's not the way it works, right? So with email, do you talk at all about different programs for booking and communicating with your clients?
Totally, absolutely. I mean,
what's your favorite?
So what I've been using the emails for right now is to promote my classes or to promote my schedule. So now opening for January or whatever that may look like, make sure you get, pre-book your appointments, if they don't already, which we know pre-booking is so important. But with the algorithms, because it is only showing 10% of your following, the way to avoid that, only showing 10% of your following, is make sure that when you post that you stand next to your phone for the first hour. Because if you comment, then I comment. You comment, then I comment. Like, other people comment. We start all commenting. Instagram's gonna be like, hey, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Maybe the rest of her following.
Yeah.
Maybe the rest of her following would like to see that because it's relevant content.
Right.
So make sure if you guys are posting to be next to your phone for the next 5, 10, 30 minutes, hour at most.
Makes
because
sense.
that's when it'll start to wildfire your content online.
Okay, so with the email, do you use MailChimp?
Yes, I do. I love MailChimp, and they have gotten such a great way to integrate collecting emails from your website. I use Shopify for my website, and we sell classes on there, we sell ebooks on there.
You can create a website on Shopify.
Yes.
Okay, and manage it from there.
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely. So, even with MailChimp, you can create certain lists. So, you could do like your client list, maybe like your followers list. So you know who you're targeting when you're creating these emails in order to kind of classify and separate
So
it.
how do you get the emails originally?
Oh my gosh, I have so many tactical ways that I do this. So, basically, I'll sometimes put out a post, like of questions, and just say like, hey, would you guys like to know more information, like all this stuff, instead of letting, like the algorithm, whatever, and people like laugh about it, but they're like, yeah, sure, like you can have my email, or like, would anybody be interested in like, I don't know, I'm using this as if coming from an influencer, like, would anybody like to know if I have like openings at the salon, whatever, because it's really hard to get in, let's just say that. Yeah, sure, here's my email, or who would like to know if I'm doing any online social media classes? And I've been just collecting emails, just like that.
So when you get the emails, you then do what? Go into the MailChimp program and you just enter them in by hand?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been, or when my website does go live, it'll be a pop-up so that they can see, and then it will just classify itself. But yes, I manually insert all of those
Every
emails.
single one.
And even at my classes, I've been passing out papers, and I'll type in those emails. Like when I teach a class, everybody will write down, their emails, and I'll actually type those
On
in.
like pieces of paper?
On pieces of paper.
Wow.
I'm
With,
very
like,
dedicated.
with
I'm
what?
very dedicated.
Like a quill and some ink?
Yes.
How does that work?
Exactly. I know. We laugh, but I just have a really good feeling about
Sometimes
it.
the old is new.
I
Like you
just have
said.
such a good feeling about it. And, there's probably some salon owners that are listening in right now, and, they have an email list, and they're like, you know what, that's a good idea. Like, we should do that. Or, that would be awesome for, like, building our new stylist and introducing a new stylist that comes into the salon and letting people know, because maybe initially the people that are clients may not go to her, but maybe they know somebody or their kids or something like that, just to start building that individual's book.
A lot of people are reticent to contact their clients too much. What is too much? What is emailing too much? Should they even be worried about that?
Yes, because there's been certain platforms that have been like, I'm like ready to unsubscribe to the fact that they keep like, bothering, like some apps will message you a lot. Initially, people can unsubscribe if they want to, but maybe there are people out there that are trying to get an appointment. I think that we have to look at it as like the golden nugget of like, well, you weren't going to have that client anyways, but you put out that you had 3 days open. So that's like found money. You know what I'm saying? But I would say, randomly, of course, is fine. But if you're putting out like a newsletter or something like that, or maybe this is the trend for fall or whatever that may look like, I would say like once a month or even quarterly. And then if you have random amounts of appointments, just throughout.
Right.
I think like once a week is just too much. Like it's just. I would not want to get 52 emails from one person in 1 year. So,
Right.
Yeah.
So tell us, talking about personal branding, tell us about yourself. Where are you from originally?
Okay, so I'm actually from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I was born there.
Which is where you live now?
I live there now.
Okay.
I bought a house there
Not
with
a
my
horrible
husband.
place to live.
I love it so much, and
Awesome.
my husband Aaron, he's the biggest supporter that I have. And I started out in the movie world, right? And I've always worked in salons. So that was like my heart, my passion. And I had went to college, I went to business school, and I ended up coming home, and my mom was like, hey, do you want to try out beauty school? Because we had talked about it when I was younger. And I'm like, you know what, Mom, like, I will. But at this point, it was right when the market had crashed. It was 2008, okay? So I went to go apply for financial aid, and they said that my mom made too much money the year before. My mom didn't even have that job at the time. So about 6 weeks later of just me banging down the door, like, I ended up getting a grant. And instead of paying like, I don't know, $13,000 for school, I only had to pay $99. So I was given like this gift of like a trade. And that's why I'm just so very receptive to tell all of my secrets, like to educate on stage, you know, to be socially present, because if somebody gave that to me, I have to utilize it in some sort of manner. And that's how I've kind of translated it into my content. And I did go to school and pay $20,000 for video, so I might as well cross-promote my first love and now my current love.
Got it. Got it. So you learned how to produce movies and TV and stuff like that.
Like yeah,
Okay.
like broadcasting.
Right. Okay.
Broadcasting.
Got it.
And like little short films and stuff like that. So
Okay.
it was a time in my life. It was really cool. But beauty is just so much fun. Like and you can go on so many different avenues
Oh, yeah.
with it. You know,
Yeah.
you're on a podcast right now. Like it is your podcast,
Right.
and you're in the beauty industry.
I know, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
All right. So you get out of school, and where do you go?
So I went out of school, and I initially got my first job when I was 21 years old, and I basically walked in there and I was like, you know what, I have no clientele at all, but I'm really determined, and I would love to be a stylist at your salon. And this lady, she just looked at me, she goes, I don't know, girl, you got something, like you, it was one of the most popular salons in my area.
Okay.
And I was like, if I need to assist, I will. I mean, I've been assisting since I was 13 years old. Let's not forget that. I've
Okay.
always worked in salons. So I
Informally,
was
you were
like
there.
a career assistant for almost 8 years, like literally. But I said to her, I go, you know, I've been doing this for a really long time, and I'm ready to be a stylist, you know? And she ended up taking me on, and within my first year of being a hairstylist, one of the girls at our salon who was a makeup artist quit her job. And she goes, oh, you're our makeup artist. You can do your makeup? You're our makeup artist now. So I went through full-on prom season, terrified of like these girls that were kind of almost the same age as me. We have to keep in mind, I'm 21 at the time. They were only a few years younger than me. I was doing their makeup, and finally I decided to go to makeup school. It was right when I decided to do hair and makeup that it opened up more windows for me. And then that's when I started doing my celebrity clientele. I started getting flown out to certain places because I did both. They wanted to hire just one person.
So the celebrities were clients of this particular salon?
No, they were mine.
They were yours.
They found
Where
me
did you
all
find them?
They found me from social media. You know how Paris Hilton found me? Was from the hashtag Miami Hairstylist. Because she looked at my content, she looked at my contacts, she saw my consistency, and she goes, this girl knows what she's talking about, she knows what she's doing, I'm gonna hire her. So I've done her hair and makeup like 4 times down in Miami.
So even Paris Hilton goes to Instagram to find hairdressers.
Yes, in
That's
Miami.
amazing.
Yeah. And you know, I've done Nick Jonas's makeup before. I didn't even know it was him. They just said a celebrity. They asked for hair and makeup quotes. I thought it was a girl. Thank God I always keep my kit intact, and I pull up to the Fillmore in Miami, and they put a Nick Jonas sticker on me for backstage pass, and I freak out, of course. Like, you know, I'm like trying to be like Nick Jonas. But it was the most incredible experience, and I just really captivated on the fact, and I gave myself the name celebrity hair and makeup artist after the first 3 celebrities that I did.
Sure. Wow.
And I honed in on that, and there's a trust involved when it comes to celebrities, and just building that rapport. A lot of people ask me, I don't really know. I talk to everybody, I network. If you're not working, you should be networking is my main thing. And just from being nice and friendly and caring about what other people are saying, and you just meet people.
Right.
And coming to shows like this,
Yeah.
talking to people like you, it's
Yep.
you really have to show face, and
You do.
that's why I love social media.
Yeah.
Because if you can't be there physically, you can still create these relationships online, you
Yeah.
know? And then you see them in person, you feel like you already know them, and you're like, oh, we're not friends, we haven't hung out before?
Right, but it feels like it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Isn't
because
that
I've been
amazing?
watching your Instagram, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh wait, we haven't met each other. Like in real life,
No, I
you know
know.
what I mean?
Totally. It's the most bizarre thing.
I know.
But they're seamless now. They're becoming, online, digital, and in real life is becoming seamless.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I feel like that is conducive of branding and voice. So people now, like even when I go live, the best compliment that I could ever receive is people coming up to me and being like, I feel like I know you. That's what I want. That is my goal in life, is to people for people to feel like they can be comfortable enough to come up to me. And within that, love that we're talking about this, within that, it comes down to even your photos of your selfies. If you're constantly like serious and sexy like in your pictures, people are going to think like, well, maybe they're intimidating or maybe they're not approachable. But if you constantly take pictures of like with you smiling or laughing, like, you know, look at Rihanna, like people just like love her because she's just so smiley and like, you know, so
that's her brand, it's smiley.
That's her brand.
Yeah.
But think about like your actual profile picture. You know, if you're crossing your arms or, you know, if you kind of have like a sultry look on you, people may be intimidated to work with you. So you have to keep in mind like your content about what people are also saying about you because of how they evoke emotions based upon your photos.
This is spot on. And I think a lot of people feel like if they have to put too much thought into it,
Yeah.
it loses authenticity. But I think I made the comment, hopefully it was clear on stage, that sometimes in order to get the right kind of content out there, whether it be a picture or a caption or whatever, it's going to feel maybe a little inauthentic at first. But of course, as long as it's who you are and what you want to perpetuate out there, then that is part of your brand.
Yeah.
It's just maybe doesn't feel natural immediately to have to hire a photographer or trade with a photographer to get some really good pictures of yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, like I was saying earlier, like, you know, we have to practice being ourselves. You know, think about it initially as like you're sending like that story to your best friend. You know, you can't think of, sometimes we get in our own heads and we overthink everything, and sometimes I think when it's just a little more fluid is when it's like the best. And speaking to that person as if they're the only person in the room. So, you know, I've said this before, but speaking singularly, you know, I don't say, hey guys, I don't say everybody anymore. I say you, like I want to see you at my class. I want to see you in my chair. And I feel like when you when you try to talk to everybody, you talk to nobody. And that messaging, it's very translated when it comes to stories. And you can tell people are starting to like really like hone in on like who they are. I feel like this is the first year in this industry that social's really taken seriously. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, probably.
Like really, really seriously.
Yeah, I mean, yes. I think it's 2 years ago it was serious, but as we've gotten closer to where we are now, definitely those people who are those who were fighting it the most are now relenting, and they're
It's commercialized.
Yes.
Before
They
it was
can
like
see,
a top percent, and now
Right.
it's like, okay, I see.
I see that
I
there's
get
a
it.
real benefit to me that's going to affect my life positively.
Yes.
I'm going to be able to get more clients.
Yes.
What about Facebook?
I love Facebook.
Should we ignore Facebook?
No, not at all.
What do we do with Facebook?
So what I've been doing with Facebook is I have been taking my content and I'm posting it to Facebook.
At the same time that you post it to Insta.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. You know how you can just swipe and say post to Facebook?
Yep.
So I've been sharing my stories on Facebook as well.
Okay.
You can also, as soon as you post to IGTV, it sends it straight to your Facebook as well. And I have been getting content after, like, people, it wasn't until like maybe like 3 weeks ago, I have to be honest with you, but I'm starting to see, like, ever since I've been doing that, it's been translating so well. It's the same thing with email. It's that golden nugget of engagement that you're maybe not really focusing on, but that you can contribute that content that you're already creating anyways on another platform.
Yeah.
Repurpose it.
Right.
You're repurposing it to Facebook
Right.
because, like we said earlier, the same people on Facebook are not the same people on Instagram that are not on YouTube, but cross-promoting all the different avenues. I spend money on Facebook. Like, I spend money on Facebook ads. Promoting classes, pretty much classes, because that's as far as I've gotten it. And that's why I've been more populated on Facebook as of recently, because I did want to promote, where I'll be, or whatever that means. So much so that I actually got verified on Facebook. Which is actually one of the first steps to getting verified on Instagram. I don't know how to do it. Anybody watching, if you know how to get verified, hit me up, because I'm ready. But I have heard that the first way to get verified is through getting verified on Facebook.
Makes sense.
But Facebook wants you to see that you're spending money on their platform.
Right. So does the spending money on Facebook work?
Yes.
So it works for your classes?
Yes.
Could it work for a hairdresser trying to build a clientele?
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know what that looks like because I've never done that before.
Yeah.
But it is all about your context, how you are placing it. So maybe you're promoting the salon and services rather than like, hey, I'm Olivia, I need clients.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe just representing like your brand, saying like we're trying, like we're doing a keratin treatment now. Maybe if you did like an ad on a promoted sales, but you have to keep in mind your photo has to be great. Right? Your verbiage has to be great. What are the benefits of it? So it's not just I'm spending money. It has to be purposeful when it comes to actually spending the money on what you're doing. And that's the same thing even if you were going to do it on Instagram. You have to be purposeful in your posts, in your ads, anything like that. I've made mistakes.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's a learning process to practice.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about that, because that's one thing we don't talk about a whole lot is promoting on Facebook. Actually, we don't even talk about promoting on Instagram very much. But so, what, $100 a month, $200 a month, $500?
So I've done it for 2 separate times, and I think I probably spent maybe like out of those 2, maybe like $500 on it, but I made $2,000 from it. So
from your
from
your
me
class.
Initially, right? And also too, that $500 is marketing. You write off on your taxes, takes it off the top with your classes and stuff like that. I send it over to my tax lady. But you have to also use targeting correctly. So think about maybe people that are teaching similar classes like you that are icons in the industry. People that follow them. I'm just going to say like Jen Acker. Let's just say Jen Acker. Okay. You can actually like type in people like her, celebrity hairstylists, and people that actually follow them will show up on their feeds on Facebook. So you're using different targeting. For instance, like, I have my social media class on Tuesday, which I want you to come.
Okay.
I targeted LA, okay? I put in there some tags of social media Los Angeles because I wasn't just only trying to tag necessarily hairstylists. I was trying to tag even bloggers, a little bit outside of my wheelhouse because the information can contribute to so many people. And that's what we also have to be careful of is we are a salon. That looks so broad on a tag because anybody can come to the salon, right? So maybe tagging your area would be more essential than tagging interests. You can do both, but tagging location would be more of what you'd want to do.
Right. Fascinating, super fascinating. What about Instagram promotion?
Okay, so I have done a few Instagram promotions. I wanted to test the waters because I noticed that I love my business page, don't get me wrong. But when I initially went over to business page, I saw a dramatic drop in my engagement, in my followers, and I'm like,
so did we.
What is going on here? And they want you to spend money and they want you, now all of a sudden there's purpose in your content because you're trying to receive money from a service and Instagram wants to get a little piece of that pie in the sense of whatever. So I started to do things like on my Instagram page, I used to say, if you can see this post, say I am your friend. And I had people after people after people after people after people. And I actually started getting back into the feed, so that's kind of switching off in the algorithms. But then I was like, you know what? Let me try and pay. Let me try and pay to see if maybe it helps with my engagement. I did that a few times. It wasn't like astronomical that, but there's something about seeing sponsored that turns off people.
It does.
Whatever that looks like. But make sure that if you're doing
it turns me off just as a viewer. For some reason, I think that if it says sponsored, it's no good.
It's
and I've had
unauthentic,
people tell me
it's curated.
That's stupid, but
I kind of feel the same way. I kind of feel the same way, but keep in mind, I asked Instagram, or excuse me, I didn't ask them, but I had posted an image of an actual flyer for a class and I made an ad on it. Instagram actually contacted me and said, next time, do not use a photo that has word or text on it because it doesn't rank as well.
We got the same message.
And thank God, because I had to tell a few other people, they're like, oh my God, thank you for not, I would have spent so much money and then it wouldn't have even gone anywhere. And then I couldn't figure out how to cancel it. It was a big mess. But yeah.
This has been a super fun conversation, and obviously we could keep going, but
we'll have to have part 2.
We know you enjoy it so much. It's awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Well, hold on. Before we go, where can people find you? Tell people where they can find you, your website.
So you guys can find me at OMG Artistry on Instagram, OMG Artistry, YouTube, as well as Facebook, Twitter, all that fun stuff.
Okay, and website?
OMGArtistry.com.
Wow.
I keep it simple.
You got it. Did you trademark that?
I did.
Good for
I did.
You. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
This is fantastic.
This was so awesome. Like, I was getting really excited if you couldn't tell.
No, I can definitely tell. I didn't get to any of my actual questions.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. That means we need a part 2.